During the bubble, we saw the Lakers dominate the playoffs, only losing a total of 5 games, and at the forefront of the Lakers was the duo of LeBron and AD, and with how decisively they won the playoffs, they're now undoubtedly the best duo in the league. But how long will this duo last together? How much longer does LeBron have in his prime, and where do they compare to other great NBA duos? While LeBron and AD have been playing together, they haven't experienced any adversity together, and staying at the top of the Western Conference all season long. And with this next season coming up, it's very, very unlikely they'll get to the number 1 seed as easily as they did this season, with the Warriors now back in number 1 contention. And don't forget about the Nuggets as well, as their young team has aged another year and could upset another team like they did with the Clippers this season. But what should be a good indicator is the 4 matchups of the Lakers against the Warriors, and that's just in the regular season alone, which will give us a great idea of a possible series between the two. And then the next question, of course, is how much longer is LeBron going to be in his prime, which is something I've questioned a lot. And to be honest, I predict LeBron has a max of 3 more seasons at this level, maybe only 2. But nevertheless, 2 more seasons of LeBron in his prime and with AD on the team is the recipe for a three-peat. And with no trade rumours for either of them, and neither of them having a reason to leave, I believe they'll have the next 2 seasons together on the Lakers. But let's now get on to other great duos in NBA history, and to make it easier, I'm only going to include the modern NBA history, so from the 70s onwards. So my top 5 duos of all time, starting at number 5, is LeBron and D-Wade on the Miami Heat. Although they only had 4 seasons together on the Heat, they reached the NBA Finals every single season and won 2 back-to-back titles together. Then at number 4, Larry Bird and Kevin McHale. And I have to confess, I didn't know who Kevin McHale was before I made this video. And of course, Larry is the star of the Celtics in the 80s and early 90s, but McHale was a key player too. He started as a 6-man and won 2 6th Man of the Year awards, and then developed into a perennial NBA All-Star, and being an All-Star for 7 straight seasons. And on the other end, he was the defensive anchor for the Celtics, being in the all-defensive team an insane 6 times. So when you next bring up Bird and the Celtics, make sure to include Kevin McHale as well. And now at number 3, I've gone with Shaq and Kobe. And although they had their issues when playing together, it can't be ignored how dominant the two were at their prime, and the 3 straight championships speak for itself. It just makes you think how many more championships they would have won had the duo have stayed together. Now at number 2, and to no surprise, is Kareem and Magic of the Showtime Lakers. They won 5 championships together during the 80s, and the rivalry between them and the Celtics was one of the best rivalries we've ever seen. And to no surprise, at number 1, it's Jordan and Pippen. 6 championships together, 2 separate three-peats, and part of arguably the best NBA team of all time, the 1995-96 Bulls. So my top 5, just to recap, is LeBron and D-Wade, Bird and McHale, Shaq and Kobe, Kareem and Magic, and Jordan and Pippen. So do LeBron and AD break into this top 5? And of course they don't, with what they've achieved so far, as they've only had 1 season together. But like I mentioned, it's very, very likely they'll have 2 to 3 more seasons together, with LeBron still in his prime. And for argument's sake, let's just say the Lakers do win the next 2 championships, for example, and complete the three-peat, which I think could well happen and wouldn't be a shock. And if this were to happen, I'd be inclined to put LeBron and AD over LeBron and D-Wade, and possibly Bird and McHale as well. The point I'm making is that even though LeBron is 35, almost 36, there is still time for him to build a legacy in LA with the support of Anthony Davis, and possibly they could go down as one of the best duos of all time.